To help us kick off this year's General Assembly, I am honored to introduce a special guest joining us here today. That special guest is David Schapira. David is the Democratic leader in the Arizona State Senate, a brother from Delta Psi Zeta at George Washington University. Schapira has been dedicated to improving his community. As a high school teacher, as an aide to U.S. Senator Tom Daschle, and as a manager of Terry Goddard's 2002 campaign for Arizona's Attorney General. He has also provided support for the Kiwanians Youth Group and the American Cancer Society, and to our own Zeta Psi Zeta chapter at Arizona State University. Schapira previously served in the Arizona House of Representatives before becoming a senator. He is currently seeking a seat in the U.S. Congress. Please help me in welcoming State Senator and brother David Schapira. David?
Good afternoon, brothers. Very honored to be here. Never had the opportunity when I was in school to attend a General Assembly, so this is a unique pleasure for me to be able to be here with you all today. Welcome to Arizona, welcome to Phoenix, and welcome to Congressional District 9. Very convenient that during my first run for Congress, the General Assembly happens to be right here in the Congressional District where I'm seeking a seat in the United States Congress. I want to tell you a little bit about my story with our fraternity. I started my college career here in Arizona at Northern Arizona University my freshman year. I planned on playing football there. Got a little sick during the summer before my freshman year, and so ended up not playing football. And my other possible option, my other plan, was to go to George Washington University, where I could pursue the academic endeavor that was of most interest to me, and that was to study political science. The summer between my freshman and sophomore year, I came back down here to the Valley, and I had some friends at Arizona State University, had a couple guys I knew that I'd gone to high school with who were members of a fraternity called Lambda Chi Alpha. They had a house at that time at the ASU campus, and they offered me the opportunity to stay in that house for the summer. Of course, I had to pay rent. And so I had the opportunity to live in the house and get to know some of the brothers here at the Zeta Psi chapter. The fall of that year, I traveled to Washington to attend George Washington University. And just before we started the semester, I met some brothers of Lambda Chi, just pure coincidence, at the GW Delta Xi chapter. They welcomed me to the campus, gave me an opportunity to get to know some of the other brothers in the chapter, and I noticed some commonality between the Lambda Chi chapter at ASU and the Lambda Chi chapter at GW. Now, my dad was a Beta Theta Pi, my brother was a Beta, my uncle was a Sigma Chi, and I'd become familiar with their fraternities and their chapters in Arizona and thought, you know, Greek life really isn't for me. But after experiencing the Lambda Chi chapter at ASU and seeing that the Lambda Chi chapter at GW had some similarities in that the brothers really saw their bond in a fraternity as a familial bond, that they shared values in leadership and in service. When I saw that, it really encouraged me to give Greek life a second thought. And so I decided to rush Lambda Chi and to make my dad happy, rushed Beta Theta Pi as well, my first semester at GW. Ultimately, I found myself identifying far more with the Lambda Chi brothers at that chapter. And so I joined the Lambda Chi chapter, later went on to become the house manager, was actually the house manager of our chapter that got us a house, and also became the Gamma in our chapter. One of the other reasons I joined Lambda Chi was because of its great tradition, its great history that all of you know. The history that involves great men like Harry Truman. At the time where I was in Washington, it also involved great United States senators like John Breaux and Max Cleland. When I was working for Senator Daschle, I had the opportunity to meet Senator Cleland and got to go to spend some time in his office, and eventually he invited me back to come have lunch with him just about every day when he was in session. And one of the great lessons I learned after becoming a brother of this bond is that that bond extends far past college, and that men like Max Cleland still look at someone who at 18 or 19 years old really didn't know a lot about the world, didn't have anything to offer, and still saw me as an equal because I was his brother, because I am his brother. And so I built a bond and built a relationship with him that has lasted through the years. In fact, when I first decided to run for Congress, former Senator Cleland was one of my first phone calls. And I called him and told him what I was considering, and he offered his encouragement and support. And he told me that, David, when you run for Congress, it's a little different from what you've done before. When you run for Congress, there will come times in the campaign where your staff hates you. There will come times where your family hates you. There will come times when your kids don't recognize you. And there will come some great days, but there will come some really bad days. And on the worst of those days, when your staff and your wife and your kids don't want to talk to you, call me. Anytime, day or night, any day. And that relationship with Senator Cleland has been something that has helped push me and motivate me and encourage me throughout my career. And I think, to me, that is the definition of true brotherhood, that kind of relationship. When I came back to Arizona, I tried to pass on that kind of brotherhood that Senator Cleland had shown me. And despite the fact that I'm a pretty busy guy, I teach at Arizona State University, I run a small business, I serve in the state legislature, and I'm involved in many other philanthropic endeavors. I decided after being involved in the Phoenix Area Alumni Association for a few years that I wanted to help a burgeoning initiative to bring the Lambda Chi chapter back to Arizona State's campus. A few years after I lived in that house, they were kicked off at ASU's campus. And so I started working with some great young men at ASU who are considering becoming part of our bond. And I met some really incredible guys who ended up joining what is now a recolonized chapter at that university. The Zeta Psi chapter is back at ASU. And I had the opportunity to be there for the ritual for the initiation of quite a few of those young men. One of them was a young man named Vikas Shrivastava. Vikas, when I first met him, was a high school student who was involved in education initiatives in my part of town. And Vikas and I got to know each other through those initiatives. And later, when he went to GW, he happened, again, pure coincidence, to get involved in the Lambda Chi interest group and eventually did become an initiate of our fraternity. Vikas is now Zeta Psi 881. And as you saw on the cover of Cross and Crescent, Vikas and I had the opportunity to stand together and have that opportunity today as I try and pass on that show of brotherhood that Max Cleland did to me by bringing Vikas as a staffer onto my congressional campaign, and I'm happy to be joined by Vikas today. Please give him a round of applause. So I've had a great opportunity since college to serve my community. And the things that first attracted me to Lambda Chi, service, leadership, brotherhood, those same kinds of things motivate me to this day. And it's why, after coming back from college, after teaching high school for 2 years, I decided to get involved in the process of public policy in my community and my state. And so in 2006, when I was first age eligible to do so, I was actually constitutionally ineligible, I found, when I decided I wanted to run it for the first time after college because I wasn't old enough. But the first year I was age eligible, when I turned 26, I ran for the Arizona State House of Representatives. I ran against a 10-year incumbent in a district where no one thought someone of my party could win, let alone beating someone who'd been there for 10 years. Someone who I thought did not hold those same kinds of values that I did, who wasn't interested in serving the community where we lived. I was the last of 8 candidates to get in that race. I knocked on 7,000 doors and talked to the people of our community at their doorstep. And in 2006, was elected by 3,000 votes to serve in the Arizona State House of Representatives. I was reelected in 2008, and in 2010, I sought the Senate seat in the state of Arizona in my district. Had a very tough race that year, was outspent 2.5 to 1, and was successful in a year that was a very bad one for my party, especially in this state. The day after that election, although I am currently the youngest member of the Arizona State Senate, I was selected to be the leader of my party's caucus in the Arizona Senate, making me the highest ranking Democrat in state government in Arizona, which says a lot about Arizona, that I'm the highest ranking state Democrat. I've had the honor to serve in that capacity for the last 2 years. It's been my privilege. I've also, for the last 2 years, served on the Tempe Union High School District Governing Board because I made it my mission after college to make education better in Arizona, to make sure that the opportunities I had growing up in elementary school, middle school, high school, and college are afforded to the next generation of young people in this country. And I think that's a value that was well instilled in me when I was a member of this bond in college. Our fraternity at GW was always, my entire time at GW, the highest GPA fraternity on campus. The Zeta Psi chapter at ASU follows in that great Lambda Chi tradition of being strong academically as well. I'm here today to tell you a bit about my story so that especially the undergraduates who are here can know what it means to be a brother after college. I'm also here to ask for your help. When we talk about service and leadership, each and every one of us has to take our role. Each and every one of us is responsible for making the world a better place. I'm asking you to help me to serve my community. And there are things that you can do from here and things that you can do from far away. If you'd like to get involved in our effort, you can visit our website at david4az.com. You can sign up to make phone calls. Our election starts in 7 days and it will be over in 35 days. So if you're able to sign up to help us make phone calls to people across this district, I encourage you to visit our website again at david4az.com to do so. If you're able to contribute, the resource battle is always a tough one. But I want to leave with one thought, and that is, what is to me the meaning of true brotherhood? And I think I outlined a bit of that today when I told you the story of myself and Max Cleveland, when I told you the story of myself and Vika Shrivastava. And the thought I want to leave you with is that, again, when you graduate college, when you finish this part of your life's journey, it is not the end of your involvement in this brotherhood. True brotherhood means brotherhood for a lifetime. And as you can see with the Grand High Zeta members who are here, many folks have continued their relationship with this fraternity on into the future, and I hope that all of you will do that going forward into the future. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for being a part of this. Again, welcome to Arizona, and enjoy the 54th General Assembly.